I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. This evening, Select Board Member Mr. DeMayo has requested to participate remotely because physical attendance would be unreasonably difficult under 940 CMR 2910.5 due to his being out of state. So all Select Board meeting tonight votes will be taken with a roll call vote. As the Vice Chair, I will be chairing the meeting. First item on the agenda is public comment. To receive oral communications from members of the public, members of the public may address the Select Board for up to 3 minutes. Select Board shall not engage in discussion on topics raised during public comment, but may choose to add the topic to a future agenda. This agenda segment will be limited to 15 minutes unless extended at the discretion of the chair. Is there any public comment tonight? Okay, seeing none. Moving on to grants, gifts, and donations. We have an acceptance of the state 911 EMD grant award for $18,000. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Chief, did you want to speak to this grant?
Sure. So this is an annual grant that we get each year. This pays for us to contract with Cataldo Ambulance Company to support our communication center with emergency medical dispatch. So in layman's terms, those would be like the more significant life-threatening medical calls that come in. And this is just a direct pay out to Cataldo for their service for that.
Great.
If I may, do the different ambulance companies have different qualifications as far as services they can provide?
So this is about the dispatch center, so the call taker, not the service being provided on the scene. So this is about the emergency medical dispatch as a standard.
911.
It's more, a little bit more than 911. So we're a 911 center. Cataldo has an emergency medical dispatch center, which if we were trained for emergency medical dispatch, it would cost annually more than this for us to keep our full-time and part-time dispatchers trained and up to date in emergency medical dispatch. So that's why we contract with them and use these grant funds for that.
It's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, all in favor? Jeff Walker?
Jeff Walker, yes.
Leslie Matthews, yes.
Alicia Greco, yes. Bill DeMayo?
Bill DeMayo, yes. Yes.
Thank you. Next, we have an approval on behalf of the Council on Aging to accept a donation of $20 from June Brogan. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to accept.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote, Jeff Walker?
Jeff Walker, yes.
Leslie Matthews, yes.
Alicia Greco, yes. Bill DeMayo?
Bill DeMayo, yes. Bill DeMayo, yes.
Thank you. I have approval on behalf of the Council on Aging to accept a donation of $30 from Thomas and Marjorie Carroll.
Motion to accept.
Second.
Any discussion on this? Roll call vote, Jeff Walker?
Jeff Walker, yes.
Leslie Matthews, yes.
Alicia Greco, yes. Bill DeMayo?
Bill DeMayo, yes.
Next is approval on behalf of the Council on Aging to accept a donation of $20 from Deb Torchetti.
Motion to accept.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote,
Jeff Walker, yes.
Leslie Matthews, yes.
Alicia Greco, yes. Bill DeMayo?
Bill DeMayo, yes. Bill DeMayo, yes.
Okay. The next item on the agenda is a donation of the Purple Heart wreath from Jerry and Bill DeMayo that was placed at the
skipped one.
Comrades.
Did you skip one?
Skip Yep. one. Council on Aging.
Oh, I put the wrong one, I'm
Skip the
sorry.
big one.
Approval on behalf of the Council on Aging to accept a donation of $6,000 from the Friends of the Newbury Council on Aging.
Motion to accept.
Second.
Okay, any discussion on that one? Roll call vote, Jeff Walker,
Walker, yes.
Leslie Matthews, yes.
Alicia Greco is yes, Bill DeMayo?
Yes.
Okay. Now we have a Purple Heart wreath from Jerry and Bill DeMayo that was placed at the Comrades Monument on the Upper Green on August 7th. It's valued at $185.94. Mr. DeMayo, would you like to recuse yourself from this vote?
I would, thank you.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to accept the donation of the Purple Heart wreath.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion on this? It was a beautiful wreath.
I do have a photo if you're interested.
Okay. Roll call vote? Jeff Walker?
Jeff Walker, yes.
Leslie Matthews, yes.
Alicia Greco, yes. Okay, on to new business. We have a one-day liquor license request by Sarah Blackstone, Ipswich Ale Brewery, Essex Baseball Organization event at Spencer Pierce Little Farm, 5 Littles Lane, Newbury. We have 5 various dates on this. If the board is amenable to that, I can read them all and we'll take them all in one vote, or would you prefer to take them separately?
All in one vote.
Agreed.
Okay, we'll take them all in vote. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the liquor licenses as read on September 7th, 2025, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. September 14th, 2025, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. September 21st, 2025, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. September 28th, 2025, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And October 5th, 2025, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, discussion on this. We, in the spirit of continuous improvement, we have one-day liquor licensing with the ABCC. As you know, the state is the licensing authority for this. I mean, we're the licensing authority, but it goes through the Commonwealth. And the ABCC has some sources for one-day liquor licenses. So first of all, is somebody here from Ipswich Ale Brewery?
I was under the impression that Sarah Blackstone was gonna be present. I did not hear from her otherwise.
Okay. So what happens is the Commonwealth requires you to source one-day liquor licenses. They have to be purchased from an authorized source. So Mercury Brewing is listed as an authorized source. They do doing business as Ipswich Ale Brewery. So they're covered under this. The event is gonna be they're having an outdoor event. And that's pretty much it.
So you're
Yes.
saying they have to hold a special permit or whatever at their level?
No, they have to just purchase their liquor from an authorized source
I
based
got
on
you.
the
Perfect.
Commonwealth. Which most
Falls
people
under the
know that.
liability of Ipswich.
right, they're considered a source.
Right.
Okay, so do we want to approve these? I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Yes. Jeff Walker, yes.
Leslie Matthews, yes.
Alicia Greco, yes?
Bill DeMayo, yes.
Okay. Next, we have a public property use request for the Newbury Police Department. They request to use the Plum Island Center Island parking lot as a first responder staging area on Saturday, September 13th, 2025 during Plum Fest. So I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to accept.
Second.
Okay, discussion on this. Chief, did you want to come up and explain to the board?
Sure.
What you're trying to accomplish?
So regarding Plum Fest, there's two things that are kind of at play right now. One of them is we traditionally would use Pitta Hall for first responder staging. However, I've been told from the Plum Fest coordinators, that they have an event already there. They've rented the hall to someone else, so that gives us someplace where we need to stage our police cars, fire trucks and everything. The other thing that's happening this year that requires such space is, after last year's Plum Fest, we ran into some issues with the number of people who attended Plum Fest and the traffic congestion that was happened. So this year I'm partnering with NEMLEC. There's going to be a larger police presence down there. So we're going to need even more space to put resources that are outside of just Newbury resources. So we hopefully will be having motorcycle officers and bike officers present in order to help keep the roadways clear and foot traffic moving along the roadways, because we are very fortunate last year that there wasn't a critical incident. That's gaining popularity. We're going to have a command post for us on Olga Way. So Olga Way will be our command post. Plum Island Center will be where we keep apparatus to respond. And it will close that center for any public parking. So anyone who wanted to use that, any residents who wanted to use that day for Plum Fest, we'll be closing it down for anyone else's use.
You gonna do that early in the morning?
We're probably on the overnight then, once midnight
you.
hits.
Thank you.
Will there be an ambulance down there?
We're ambulance, fire truck, and first responders, so we'll,
The overflow into the street on some of the different locations was
unsafe. And we've worked, this year we're really working, I've been working year round with the coordinators, trying to find a happy medium between this wonderful community event and public safety and what they need. So hopefully, there will be an improvement in this. They've been working with the homeowners to try to say this is how many people that you can have on your property. And we've communicated our concern with them that there can't be standing foot traffic in front of the houses. So you're either on the property listening to the band or you've got to keep moving where there's sidewalks. So we'll see how, we'll see if there was, hopefully there'll be an improvement this year. I'm optimistic about it. And then we're gonna have a debrief after it's all done from a public safety lens to see what, if anything, we needed to do different, or is this just grown too large?
Yeah, I mean, I've attended many, and last year, like I said, the overflow into the street
Yes.
itself was, and people wouldn't move.
Nope.
And that meant emergency vehicles couldn't get through if they needed to.
Emergency vehicles and residents.
Right.
You know what I mean? We've got to keep the roadways open. And there was clearly, a failure that we've discussed in our meetings this year about what happened there. But, it also was a lens for us. We need more resources than the current 10 of us that I have to be able to keep those roads safe and still be prepared to respond to emergencies throughout town. So that's why we need the space to be able to keep all of our resources down there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any questions of the chief? Okay, roll call vote.
Jeff Walker, yes.
Leslie Matthews, yes?
Did you have a motion?
Oh, no. I didn't.
Yeah.
Motion to accept.
Oh, okay.
So you have a motion and a second, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so you have a yes and a yes?
Yes, and
Alicia
yes.
Greco, yes?
Rosemary, yes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Millennium Running 15th Annual Newburyport Half Marathon on Sunday, October 26, 2025. I'll entertain a motion.
Is anyone here?
Well, let's move it first.
Okay, motion to accept.
Second.
Is there anybody here from Millennium Running? Okay, so,
To my knowledge, this is the road race that it's not actually occurring in Newbury, but what they're doing is they're diverting
Diverting.
traffic into Newbury. That's why they're requesting the permission.
and Chief, you,
I believe this is the one where they closed the road on Scotland Road at Highfield. Am I?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah, so we have to divert traffic, in our town, so they'll need a detail officer there. We'll be closing that stretch from Highfield Road, to the Newburyport line on Scotland Road, so that the race can take place in that area.
So where do people go? Down
Highfield. So they'll go from Scotland if you're heading, east down Highfield.
Will the whole road be, like a detoured road?
Yes, yes,
It's only gonna be from 10 AM to 12 PM.
correct.
Okay. Any further discussion on this? Roll call vote.
Jeff Walker, yes?
Leslie Matthews, yes.
Alicia Greco, yes. Bill
Bill DeMayo,
DeMayo.
yes.
Yes. Okay. Next item is a public property use request for the Tour de Greenbelt on September 20th, 2025. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. Is anybody here from Essex County Greenbelt? Hi, come on up. So you'd like to use the lower green for the water stop along the Tour de Greenbelt cycling event route for a stop for the 50-mile riders. There's gonna be approximately 100 to 150 people. You're gonna set up along Newman Road. The water stop will be hosted by the volunteers and cleanup and removal by the end of the race.
Correct. Yeah, this is our third or fourth year doing it in this spot, so.
Okay.
And we'll have it all cleaned up by 5 PM. It should be thinned out and ready to go by late afternoon, so.
And you're not closing the road, right?
No, we don't need any road closures or anything like that.
Okay. Any questions? Roll call vote.
Jeff Walker, yes?
Leslie Matthews, yes.
Alicia Greco, yes.
Bill DeMayo, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Good luck
much.
with your event.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, the next item on the agenda is the redevelopment of 2 Plum Island Boulevard, seeking a notice of intent of filing consent. We have a presentation by Nicholas Cracknell.
How are you, Leslie?
Nope,
Oh,
I'm
Alicia, sorry.
That's okay.
He's my.
I'm good too, though.
Yeah. How are you?
Any particular place for boards we prefer?
Does this
Right
work
there is
over
fine.
here?
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna,
I can
Okay.
flip them around.
okay. So, good evening, everybody. Sorry, Alicia.
That's all right, thank you
Hi,
for,
Tracy. As you're gonna hear, I'm pinch hitting for Jeff Roloffs tonight, representing Mark Prairie, the owner and applicant of the property at 2 Plum Island Boulevard. I've been helping as part of a larger team with Steve Sawyer from Millennium, Scott Brown doing the architecture work from Scott Brown Architects, Patrick Seacamp doing wetland work for the site and the restoration plan that we're gonna talk a little bit about tonight on the site, as well as potentially on the abutting town-owned portion of the right-of-way. That's why we're here. So I'm part of a larger team, and Jeff has been quarterbacking this project. He couldn't be here tonight, so I'm here on his behalf to do the best I can to answer any of your questions. What we're here for tonight as a larger team is to seek authorization and your consent to allow us to amend our notice of intent for this project that's currently before the Conservation Commission. The project's gone through several iterations. I wasn't, as well as a couple of other members of the design team on the project, design team at the beginning, but we've had at least 2 or 3 passes at this, trying to refine it, listen to a lot of the input from staff, from the public, from the board members, to make this a better fit for this property and the neighborhood, and obviously the town of Newbury is a gateway location to Plum Island. So again, we're here seeking authorization just to allow us to amend our notice of intent that's before the Concom, to potentially make improvements to about 3,000 square feet that I'll show you on the plans. And I know you have a big packet that I think Jeff provided you, but there's about 3,000 square feet of a crescent-shaped portion of the right-of-way from Sunset Drive and Plum Island Boulevard. That looks just like the former Plum Island Grill property. It's all paved and the old signs there. It made sense to me, joining the design team and working with the people that were already on this project, that this was an opportunity to partner with the town of Newbury and actually clean up the corner for everybody's benefit, including
the abutters. If there's no longer gonna be a 125-seat restaurant at the corner, it made sense to at least have a larger conversation with the folks in Newbury that maybe we could do a model restoration project for that back dune and clean up the whole corner and make it truly what it could be, a gateway location for Newbury to Plum Island. That's at least the genesis of why we're here tonight and why the design significantly changed from, I think, March and April of this year to when a few of us joined the team in the middle of the summer to try and make this a more compelling and a more successful project for not only Mark, but the neighbors and the town as a whole. So the authorization, if you grant it to us to amend the NOI, does not give us consent to do these improvements. It gives us the ability to ask to make these improvements, and there'll still be, obviously, a public hearing, and the Conservation Commission will ultimately make the final decision. We've been working with town staff like James Charette in the Public Works Department to talk about the level of improvements that are here. They've changed as a result of his input. I believe Patrick and Steve have also, at least Patrick has spoken with Mason in the conservation agent position about some of these improvements. I've had conversations with Jeff, with folks like Tracy and the town planner, just again to get some input, preliminary input on who we go to, when we go to them, and how we might achieve this. Because it's a unique project to partner with the town on that corner is not something any of us normally see in a proposal. So again, the consent doesn't authorize us to do what we've conceptualized here. It just gives us the ability to streamline a little bit the permitting. So if the town was to decide that this was a good idea to have Mark or this project, the successor, make these improvements that ultimately come out of the Conservation Commission, we'd have to file a brand new application after our project if we don't get the consent and we don't amend the existing notice of intent. So if I haven't lost you there, it's an ability to have it be a tighter permitting process and work out those details with you, with Public Works, and anybody else on the town side before the Conservation Commission approves a final product.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, sir.
We're not really, we don't have anything to do with altering or providing the consent for changing your actual filing, do we? We're just going to be involved in allowing you to do something else
On your property.
on your. so
Correct.
We have nothing to do with.
Yep, it's not an endorsement of the project.
That reads a little odd if it was to be taken out of context.
What I just said, you mean?
No, if
Oh.
you know, seeking, we're not giving permission to change the filing.
But I'm not Jeff Roloffs, but as I understand it, the Wetland Protection Act at the state level requires us to have written authorization from the property owner, which you have the care and custody of, to amend the application and actually propose to do something on your property. That's all we're doing here.
So this is the area that actually sits on Sunset.
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
on both really, it wraps right around the corner. So real quick, and then I'll walk over there. Is there a microphone here, or you're just picking me up with
No,
the
they're
ambient?
up.
Okay, perfect. So before I walk over there, so we got an application in front of the Zoning Board of Appeals. We've got one in front of the Conservation Commission. That's what we would amend if you offer us that opportunity tonight. To again, have a formal conversation about those improvements, not the final conversation, right? So, there's currently a 125-seat restaurant there, the Sunset got me on the street, the Plum Island Grill. And it's a single-story structure and it's a non-conforming use. I'm not going through all the zoning board stuff, but it's a non-conforming structure, non-conforming use. We need a finding from the Zoning Board of Appeals to alter that and replace it with another non-conforming use, a two-family is what we're proposing. And we have to demonstrate to the ZBA that through a finding that the proposed structure and use is not more detrimental than the one that's there now. So that's for them to decide. We're back in September, the Zoning Board of Appeals. And we have had a conversation with them about these improvements, again, which came midstream from the original application to where we are today. The ZBA is aware, and I think they're also interested in, well, how do we actually do this? How do they integrate the improvements on the public property, should you want them to happen as a community, and our project application. So I think there's also an added benefit of having the consent to amend the NOI, that at least it tells the zoning board of appeals, you're open to the idea. Not necessarily the improvements, but open to the idea of having this property owner pay and make those improvements, whatever they may be at the end of the Conservation Commission process. So what are they and where are they? I'm gonna go over there. This is the existing 125-seat restaurant. Essentially 71% of the site is paved today with the parking. The only unpaved area is in around the back of the property. Most of you probably know that well. But there's the shape of the parcel. Even though when you go out there, the edge of pavement is like this on Plum Island Boulevard and on Sunset Drive. That is the edge of pavement. You'll see it better here. We got a lot of panels here. I'll just show a few. There's the crescent-shaped 3,000 square foot area. So this is what we're proposing currently in front of the Zoning Board of Appeals and the Conservation Commission. This is the two-family structure that replaces the restaurant. It's a two-story structure that's elevated because it has to be. It has to be 7 feet above grade in this particular location, and we've raised it an extra, I believe, foot. It might be 10 inches, but let's call it a foot, in order to put the cars under the building. So this was not a 3-foot building that went up an extra 5 feet for cars. It went up 10 to 12 inches to fit the cars underneath, so we don't have to look at them. So no cars will be backing into Sunset Drive, like the restaurant, or out onto Plum Island Boulevard. Everything will come in off the back of the existing restaurant on a shared driveway, and the cars will be parked under the structure, so you won't see them, and they can all back out of the site so they can drive straight out of the site. There's no backing into any streets. We're proposing, where all this pavement exists today, we're proposing, again, in this concept plan, to restore the whole back dune with native plantings, as well as bringing in some sand to create some terrain and undulation on that flat space. And put what we had proposed in this plan and took to the Zoning Board of Appeals was a wood slatted walkway that would function like a public sidewalk, so people that are parking on the other side of Sunset Boulevard that want to go to the beach can walk in a safe place to get through your own property. We'd grant an easement. This is on Mark's property here. We would propose to grant an easement to the town for that portion, so people parking back here can get on that and walk around to Plum Island Boulevard. So that section's an easement. This is your property, and what's being contemplated here is removal of the pavement, removal of the old sign, put a new sign in, put in pilings with some ropes, if that's what you want. We've shown examples, not what has to happen. It's your land, you need to make those decisions, but we thought this was a real opportunity to have a gateway treatment with enhancements as a welcome and entrance to Plum Island, and turn that into something beautiful instead of kind of the eyesore that it is today with the old sign and the pavement. So that's again what we contemplated. This is all low-level beach grass vegetation. The dunes are only proposed to come up about 2 feet. So the walkway sits in here. We're shaping this surface. There's some trees planted on Mark's property here. But all the landscaping has also been designed to protect the abutters' views to the northwest of the property through here. We're proposing a view easement, a restriction go here so the vegetation is controlled. There aren't big trees put out here. We do have a split rail fence that we're proposing just to put here to delineate your space from our space, but softly, and it would come on the inside, go along here and out into your space here. So it's not on the property line, it's meant to be an edge for the walkway. So that is essentially the area that we would be seeking consent to make these improvements at our cost, our expense, should the town want them. Okay, so that's the two-family structure. This is all a porous gravel driveway. So the site outside of the building itself, it's obviously on pilings. This got printed a little narrower. The image that's in your packet, I think, is the full property. It's just the way, it was a panoramic photo, and this is the way it plotted, but you can see it's scrunched, cut off. Plum Island Boulevard is out here. So, you know, this Coast Guard buoy that washed up that's on Marketplace, I wanna buy it and put it here if you want it there, but we haven't bought it yet, cause we don't know that you want it. But we thought it'd be cool to have something like this at the intersection. And unfortunately, this picture cut off the rest, you can see it in your packet. I think it's cool with the sign, welcome to Newbury. And again, it's just a copy of the one you have at the beach, parking at the end of the street. Here you see the taller trees, everything's the grass, the fence. This is the proposed building. So it's a two-family that's divided right down the middle. We think these louvers are gonna be a much more attractive base to the building than a lot of the buildings that are raised on Plum Island with the pylon. I really feel like this is a model design for doing this kind of thing, with beach architecture, with these open porches. And we are proposing to have them deed restricted in the condominium documents and in the deeds, so they cannot enclose any of those spaces. They're meant to remain open. They really wouldn't wanna enclose them, but you never know. But the idea is that those are open porches, they're 8 feet deep. They're 2 levels for each of the 2 units. We do have a small roof deck, but it's on the back, so it's tucked into the roof on the back of the building. This building, I believe it's 31 and change in height, so we have crunched every floor and taken, except for the 10 inches for the cars to get underneath, we brought this down from what started at 35 feet.
I was gonna ask you that.
Yeah.
I thought it was closer to 35.
Yeah, we're down at 31, I believe, and some change, my notes are over there. But we've taken at least 3.5, 4 feet. We can't take any more out of it and make it function as a 2-story structure and hide all the cars. And essentially, if this, you know, for what it's worth, if this was a single family instead of a 2, it would essentially read the same way. You'd have a big 3,000 square foot house. It would be larger, but it would still be long like this, taking advantage of the views into the marsh. And it would be at least that height, if not a little taller, because it wouldn't be going for a finding in front of the Board of Adjustment. Sorry, the CBA. So, just from the other side, this is the abutting structure that's already there. So looking at it on Sunset Drive, it's a couple of feet taller than this, but that's it. But obviously that building is sitting not on piers, it's, I believe, on a foundation. So it would be taller if it was ever replaced. And a lot of the buildings, as you know, that are around here are very squat. They haven't yet been redeveloped. It's all gonna start popping up at some point. So this looks big at the beginning, but it's because it's a portion of Plum Island with not a lot of raised buildings yet, but we all know they're coming at some point. So I think it certainly fits in, and we've pushed it away from the intersection as much as we can. We're 25 feet off of this property, which is what this property owner wished us to do, to keep it no closer. I think we're 30 feet. I haven't got the numbers right in front of me, they're all in the books you have, but we've honored what the setback of Gary was seeking next door in this structure. So it's not imposing itself on the intersection, it's pulling itself back. So, I don't.
May I ask you a quick question?
Of course.
The only thing I didn't notice in the packet was there was no information available for the back of the building, for the setback.
For the setback?
Yeah.
Okay, I have it. Well, here's the site plan. It's 23 feet at its closest point. It's allowed to be closer. The setback is only 10. So we're 23 there, 30. So it was 30 here at the closest, 23. And we are, I think the existing building is 3 feet now at the corner out here. And we're at 7'6". So we're still moving forward because we wanted to make this work and not have people back into the street. So this was as close as we could get to this fence before we would not be able to back out like this. So that's that's the proposal there. And I will tell you, I believe James and Steve have met at least once this week or last week, and there's some, his preference at this point, as I understand it, is that maybe this would be better as hot top than the wood slatted walkway so he can remove sand. So but I think it's a preference, not a demand. So we're gonna keep talking about it, because obviously the Concom has to approve whatever you guys decide you want there, him, you, the town. We thought this was a good idea and works, and the sand is designed to go inside it and then blow out. They're pretty, I'm not gonna tell you, there isn't times you need to get the sand off it, but they generally shed sand with a bit of wind. It's the same walkway you see in Salisbury with the state reservation. You may have some on Plum Island, but I haven't
We
noticed.
have some that go down to the beach itself,
Yep,
but they don't always, sand doesn't always blow off them.
Yeah.
Piles up on them.
and I'm sure the beach is gonna have a lot more sand activity than
Yeah.
maybe here, but these are designed to be like the walkways at the state reservation in Salisbury, so I can only tell you that. So they're high quality and they're anchored down, they're not carpets. It's an effort to move them, but the beauty of it is you can move them if you decide you wanna move them. Anyway, okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Any questions from the board, Jeff?
Nick, good job, and I think I'm not being negative, I just need a little clarification, because it's involved somewhat in the change of use. And I'm sure it could be spoken to within the presentation, but I just need clarification. And I'm gonna give it to you like 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Because it's so interwoven. Like, who is responsible for the actual building of the improvements? How is it gonna be guaranteed to be built, meaning without a performance bond or something? And, will it be built if the property like sells for a different use, or if it gets like one condo instead of two? I mean,
Yep,
you know what I'm driving
I
at.
totally do. Are those the three?
Yep,
Okay, so the first one, who pays for these improvements? At this point, we're proposing to pay for them. Obviously, it isn't done, right? So if it's a gold-plated road, we might not be able to do that, right? I'm being facetious, but the plan is that Mark or the owner
Yep.
or his successor, should they do this project as approved by the ZBA and the Concom, which at this point looks like that, right? A two-family use in that configuration. If that's what gets approved, we are offering to make those improvements. Whether Mark does them or his buyer does them, doesn't matter. No one's getting a building permit to do this project as shown here or as modified by the Concom and the ZBA without those improvements being done.
and that's the guarantee that I was looking for.
So that's number one. And then you asked, well, how does it, what makes it happen? Whether there's some kind of performance bond or it's simply tied, get a building, when someone goes, sorry, Jeff, if somebody goes and asks for the building permit to do this,
Yep.
there's generally some tie-in to make sure, they could say, the building department, we're not giving you an occupancy permit till you make those improvements, right? That's surety, that's a performance guarantee. You can either put a bond up, cash up, or you can have it tied to an occupancy permit. So that's what'll happen, the building department will decide what level of surety is needed to guarantee those are gonna get done. I would say the last line of defense is the occupancy permit isn't issued unless they're in place. And the reason that there needs to be flexibility is generally weather related, timing related. But you can always post a bond if something gets in the way of the timing and they need to sell the unit. There's a way to provide assurance it gets done through that process. The last question you asked is, well, what happens if this changes, right? I think Mark can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's pretty clear, I feel pretty comfortable saying it, and I think we've discussed it. If this turned into a single family structure, there's no way the financial implications of making these improvements are gonna work for Mark or his buyer. There's just not enough in this project, if that's a single family home, to also make this level of improvements on that property. It's just economics. And to be honest, I've already said this to ZBA, I think we're already on a very thin line and making the finances work to make those improvements for a two-family. we're estimating this could be upwards of $75,000 to $100,000 depending on where we land, just these improvements.
The revisions.
Just what's there.
Yeah.
So Mark's taking a risk even offering this, in my opinion, this much, but we're doing it and we're doing a bit of this and we're relying on Frank to be able to find a buyer that it's all gonna work. But that's the best we can do.
You good, Jeff?
Mm-hmm.
Leslie, do you have any questions?
I just want to make a comment. It's a really interesting looking building. To me, it looks like it comes out of one of the, like Charleston. It's
It's
pretty.
got a southern flavor.
It has
yeah.
a southern flair to it.
Yeah.
But, so, we're just gonna give you tonight, like a heads up to tell us more what you're gonna be able to do.
No, tonight we're gonna allow them to file a notice of intent with the
Yeah.
Conservation Commission.
Okay,
To amend our notice of
Yeah.
intent to include the
To
town-owned
include this,
portion.
Yep.
okay.
Yeah.
Bill, do you have any questions?
No, I don't. I feel fine about moving notice of intent forward for further vetting, okay? I feel I'm very comfortable with that.
Okay, thank you. I have one question. If, and this is about process, let's just say the board votes in the affirmative tonight. Will this come back to us again, or it's up to the Conservation Commission and the ZBA to put the final touches on this, correct?
Definitely, so I'm gonna do my best to answer that, Alicia, I'm not sure, so I'm gonna take the safe answer, right? Certainly, the Conservation Commission has jurisdiction over exactly what happens.
Yeah.
Tracy can probably answer this better than me as to who on your side, meaning James, Mason, Tracy, any of you, what level of input you folks will bring to us and that conversation with the Concom. You certainly have, I mean, the care and custody of the roadway is yours, right?
Yeah.
And looking after it is James, right?
Yeah.
So I would imagine if you guys work together and we're here to work with you, obviously, we wanna make sure we're all in agreement when we're in front of the Conservation Commission. So I think it's an informal process for us and a formal one for the Conservation Commission. That's my best guess on process. And we welcome any input that you have on where we're at, just as we're still talking to James and Mason to make sure we get agreement on wood versus pavement. If there are things that you like or don't like or would like us to consider, we'd love to hear that. And I think it's fair, it's informal, because the formal process will be at the Concom. Does that make sense?
It does. The only activity that you may see before you, assuming all approvals are in place, would be some legal documentation, there may be some easements and things like that.
Yeah.
You'd have to address as a board. But, Madam Chair, one thing I just wanted to add in looking at the proposal, for a couple of years, Martha Taylor and I had worked on MassWorks grants, and the primary goal was to enhance the gateway, the entrance into the Plum Island area. And this really is consistent with what we were considering and does a nice job of addressing that area. Did it? Okay, interesting,
I
great.
was involved in that.
I do remember that, Mark, now that you mention it, yep.
So, thank you. That's very helpful.
Will this have to go in front of the planning board after ZBA and Concom? Okay.
Not that I know of.
Okay, so I have a motion here. I'm gonna read it.
Oh, sorry, my apologies.
That's okay. I'm gonna read the motion. I'm gonna move that the board authorize Rinko T Realty LLC, RTR, to file a notice of intent for the improvements to the public way and layout at the corner of Plum Island Boulevard and Sunset Boulevard, as shown on a plan dated July 10th, 2025, and attached hereto, and further, that RTR shall be permitted to install and construct said improvements as shown on the plan as permitted by the Conservation Commission and with the oversight and approval of the Department of Public Works Director. Further, that prior to undertaking said improvements, RTR shall be required to enter into right of entry with the town, which shall include, but not be limited to, as requirements thereunder, an indemnification provision, insurance requirements, and payment and performance bonding requirements.
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion? Joe?
What's your first?
Yes.
Any further discussion?
No.
Leslie?
No.
Jeff?
Nope.
Okay, roll call vote.
Jeff Walker, yes.
Leslie Matthews, yes.
Alicia Greco, yes?
Bill DeMayo, yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bill, Alicia, Leslie.
Good luck with your
Jeff, good to
project.
see
It
you.
looks,
Good to see you.
Seriously, appreciate it.
How are you?
Nice to meet you.
Thank you, Alicia, good job.
thank you.
Nice to meet you, Joy.
Okay,
Steven.
thank you,
How you
Eric.
doing?
Oh, hi.
It's been a while.
Eric, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. New business license. A beauty shop, Raven Carolee DBA Prescott and Post Salon at 65 Newburyport Turnpike.
Motion to approve.
Is the person here? No. All right, I have a motion to approve a beauty shop,
Second.
and there's a second. Okay, roll call vote.
Jeff Walker, yes.
Leslie Matthews, yes.
Alicia Greco, yes?
Bill DeMayo, yes.
Okay. Now we have a one-day liquor license request by David Hill, doing business as Byfield Community Arts Center on August 31st, 2025, from 5 PM to 9 PM. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Okay, Dave is here. Thank you, Dave, for coming. Do you wanna come up here? So, like we did with the Ipswich Brewing Company, in the spirit of continuous improvement, you're familiar with the ABCC's authorized sources for one-day liquor license under 2047 CMR, right?
Correct, and, yeah, we use, several distributors, I mean, we use United, Horizon.
Okay.
And we also utilize the local breweries, which are able to self-distribute, and they're on that list as well, so.
Perfect.
Mostly the beers that we serve, we try to keep with the local.
To that list.
breweries, yeah.
Okay, great, thank you. Is your event gonna be indoors or outdoors?
This
Gonna be
is-
indoors.
This is indoors, yeah.
Inside the
Yeah,
community,
we're gonna
yep.
talk about the 31st here, yeah, this is in the hall, yeah.
Okay, you know the approved building capacity, right? For that, the building capacity is no more than 100
Yeah, I
people?
have for I think, for, tables and chairs, we got 100, and then we have, a 298 for standing room only,
Yes.
which something I'm gonna talk to Peter about, when we do the renewal this year, because we would never put 298 people in that building, it seems very excessive,
You
and I
can
think.
always go less.
Yeah, so, but I think,
Yeah.
no, we would never do that, but I think that we need to kind of play around with the configuration and come up with an amendment on that occupancy permit when we do it next time around, but that's something I've discussed with Peter in the meantime and the fire department, and we'll deal with that as we go. Until then, we'll abide by the occupancy permit that we have now.
Great. And finally, do you have any outstanding invoices or taxes owed to the town of Newbury?
We do have a utility bill that will be paid as soon as possible. I do have an inquiry with our treasurer, our accountant, to figure that out. But it was signed off by the accounting department, the treasurer department here in town.
Okay,
So the license was signed by them.
okay,
We have not received the payment.
That doesn't mean that they didn't sign the license. It's been,
does the treasury sign the liquor license? I don't think they're a requirement.
I went right to them and they signed it,
Let me see,
just
hold
as
on.
always. No, I didn't say a payment has been made, I said that
Who signed it? let me look, hold on. Building
Brenna.
inspector. Treasurer collector.
Signature thing.
I find this to be a separate issue because it's something that should be tabled for another agenda.
No, the matter before us is just the license tonight. This other thing is automatic, I just wanted it to bring it to your attention, that-
Yeah,
and you're gonna take care of it.
My attention is there and I'm aware of it and that will be paid up as soon as possible and that's something I wanna put on an agenda moving forward because it's really hard for us to budget correctly when the town refuses to let us take the utility bills back in our name, which we used to have for many years. And when this new lease, they refuse to give the utilities back into our name. So it's very hard to budget month to month, when 6 months later, we just get a $5,000 bill. We're all volunteers, we're doing this out of the kindness of our hearts and, you know, all of a sudden, you know, we're trying to come up with these grants and everything and we can't figure out what our budget is if the town does not allow us to have control of our own utilities, which we did for many years.
So, the utilities were used, we had a cold winter. You have to keep the building warm.
Well, absolutely, it's not that we're not going to pay the utilities, it's that it's very hard to budget when you're working with a financial board and when you're working with a board of directors to kind of figure out what we need to bring in order to keep these utilities going and then to pay them month to month instead of 6 months later getting a bill from the town
Yeah.
that says you owe us $5,000 and then we try to come in here and get a liquor license for an event that's going to raise us money.
Right.
And then people question us, well, do you owe any money? Yes, of course we do because all of a sudden we have a $5,000 bill.
So, okay, I know this is your first year with this new lease, and I think you have to iron out a few things to figure
Yeah.
out to get through the year.
So it's very different.
It must be something like, you know, a home budget where you're on National Grid and you agree to a specific payment every month.
What I would request is that the town send us a monthly statement instead of
I
a
was just gonna suggest that.
biannual, like, you know, it's just very hard for us to budget, otherwise,
Yeah.
if we get a monthly statement, we
Understood.
can budget correctly. And it's just, you know, because all of a sudden we spend some money on something else, and then all of a sudden this comes in, we
Yeah.
weren't you know, I'm not gonna say we weren't thinking of it, but like I said,
Understood.
we're a nonprofit board, and we're all doing this on our volunteer time, and then all of a sudden, we get a $5,000 bill, and that's,
All right, well, if you can clean that up, that would be great.
we're gonna clean
Moving
that up,
forward-
it's, all the money's coming in, and the programming season for the music is starting up, the theater groups are doing great, we get a lot of stuff coming
So-
up, and it's gonna be great, so
Moving forward, we'll get you on monthly.
that would be
That
awesome.
would be
I would really
helpful.
appreciate that.
Okay.
So
And then-
actually, this was positive. This turned out to be, the discussion turned out.
This is
be helpful.
yeah, this is a very
Turned out
positive
good.
discussion, I agree.
Good.
I would
I know
love
it was a
to,
little hard and I was watching people's emotions, but if you think about it, this turned out to be positive.
absolutely,
Good.
I completely agree.
Thanks, Dave.
And then the only other thing I wanna mention is that there's a crowd manager required, you know that, right?
The what?
A crowd manager is required.
Yep, we did that last year, and there's 2 of us in the room on all events that do that, and I also require anybody else that's in the space to keep those records on site, and I've dealt with that with the fire department, and we have a really good system going on with all of that.
Okay. Well, any further discussion? Roll call vote, Jeff Walker,
Jeff Walker, yes.
Leslie Matthews, yes?
Alicia Greco, yes?
President Mayo, yes.
There you go, Dave.
Thank
Good
you
luck.
guys,
Good luck
I appreciate you all,
with your event.
thank you.
Who's playing, Parker?
Not my event, everybody's event, this is for the
Well,
community.
You're managing it.
And I don't,
I have to
I will say
recommend-
that I don't like the Dave Hill DBA Five Hill Community Arts Center because it's not my business. I'm a director.
Did I read that wrong?
That might have been my
It
typo,
might have
Dave,
said,
sorry about that.
I just wanna be clear about that, it's not, it's
You're
not
here-
my business,
You're here
it's,
for the community, I
yeah,
understand.
I'm the president on the board of directors. It is not my stuff, it's not my organization, it's not my building. I simply I'm the one that gets all the work done, but it's not a personal business, you know, so I just wanna make that clear. We're here for the community and
I appreciate you coming in tonight.
thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Dave.
And I have to tell you, if you can attend some of these shows,
Well, they're great.
they're great.
Yeah, I know.
And the thing is, you don't have to be afraid of the age group, because we're all kind of in the same.
Leslie always has fun.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
All right.
Take care.
Good night. We have a surplus declaration for a DPW 2010 Freightliner dump truck. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion
To
to
declare
declare
surplus?
the items listed surplus.
I'll take them together, a DPW 2010 Freightliner dump truck and a DPW 1996 utility trailer.
Motion to declare those surplus.
Is there a second?
Second,
Any discussion? Roll call vote, Jeff Walker,
Jeff Walker, yes.
Leslie Matthews, yes.
Alicia Greco, yes.
Bill DeMayo, yes.
Okay. Town Administrator's Report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Wanted to report to you tonight that the town has recovered $845.37, thanks to the efforts of Joyce Stanton. We were listed on the state's unclaimed assets list, and she was able to submit all the paperwork and recover those funds, so those will be deposited into the general fund and later become a component of free cash.
Great. Thank you, Joy.
On some relatively bad news, but some good news too, we did suffer in July a mild cybersecurity breach. Good news is our software successfully interrupted the attack. Big thank you to John Temple for all of his efforts in protecting our operation from these types of events. He spent a lot of time over the last couple of years making sure that we had everything we needed in place to identify them and protect us from them. So bad news, but good news.
So I have a question on that.
Sure.
There was no loss occurred.
No, there was
to
no
it.
loss. No, there was no loss. We accepted with regret the resignation of Curtis Walton from the Newbury Fire Department. That's, we were all sad to hear that, but excited for him.
Go Santa.
In his next role. Stephanie Sergi has retired from the assessors clerk position, and we're going to be welcoming Stephen Pilcher, who will be assuming her role. He has a pretty significant appraisal background and should, jump in with 2 feet and hit the ground running, so. ARPA, in terms of our ARPA money, we have a balance of a little over $16,900, which is resultant from interest earnings on the funds that we were provided. They can be used for any legal municipal purpose. I'm gonna ask you if we can put that money towards replacement of our 2007 street sweeper, which it's on its way out. We will be presenting a proposal to the capital planning committee this year, once they start their work in November. And we'd like to use some of those funds to offset some of the cost.
They have to be used by the end of this year, right?
The interest earnings can be used whenever, for any legal municipal purpose. The funds that we were awarded had to be used by this past
Last
December
December,
31st.
okay.
Yep, which they were. We fully spent them.
What year did you say that was? The street sweeper?
2007. We got our money's worth. Yep. So
Do you need a vote?
I would need a vote if you're in a.
Wanna make it, Alicia?
I move that we spend the $16,900 of ARPA interest monies to allocate it towards the purchase of a new street sweeper for the DPW.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call vote, Jeff Walker,
Jeff Walker, yes.
Leslie Matthews, yes.
Alicia Greco, yes?
Bill DeMayo, yes.
Okay,
And finally, I would like to request permission of the board to carry my unused vacation time through 12/31. if possible. We have through the end of September to use it, but I'm planning a vacation and would like to request your permission through the end of the calendar year.
I move that we allow the town administrator to roll her vacation time to use it through the end of 12/31/2025.
Second. I figured you were staying till 12,
Roll call vote.
2031.
Roll call vote, Jeff Walker,
Jeff Walker, yes.
Leslie Matthews,
Yes.
Alicia Greco, yes.
Bill DeMaio, yes.
Thank you.
And that's it?
Did you just extend your idea of your retirement time?
No, my vacation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we have to use our, according to our bylaw, we have to use our vacation time by the end of September. If we can't
can't
or we
bank it.
don't, you have to have permission of your department manager or appointing authority.
Meeting updates, any meeting updates? No. Review and approve minutes, I move that we approve,
Alicia,
yes?
I'm sorry, I have a meeting update.
Oh, go ahead, Jeff, I mean,
A
Bill.
long distance meeting update. On August 1st, Whittier Tech achieved a milestone. They were officially invited into the eligibility period phase of the Massachusetts School Building Authority process for a potential building project. Tracy and I met with them a couple weeks ago, and we meet again next week. They issued a timeline, which is available on Whittier's website. I think I got an email stating that. And the date I'm looking at is that in April 2026, that's when the feasibility study agreement will be finalized. At some point in time, I think it would be wise to lay out as best we can with information that we can get of what the timeline might be of how this project might proceed into the future, so we have some idea about financially what might happen, when it might happen, okay? I think it makes sense to do that. Also, at the meeting that I went to with Tracy, that we submitted Patrick Heffernan's name to be on the building, the building structure committee, similar to what he's doing with Triton. We voted on that at our last select board meeting. And those are my only updates.
Thank you. Okay, review and approve meeting minutes, approve meeting draft minutes of 7/22/25 and draft meeting minutes of 8/11/2025.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call vote,
Jeff Walker, yes.
Leslie Matthews, yes.
Alicia Greco, yes?
Bill DeMaio, yes.
Okay, motion to sign warrants,
Motion to sign warrants.
Second.
roll call vote. Jeff Walker,
Jeff Walker, yes.
Leslie Matthews, yes.
Alicia Greco, yes?
Bill DeMaio, yes.
Okay, motion to adjourn.
Can you have comments from the public?
We had it in the beginning.
I didn't get here, I was finishing my meal.
Fred waited the whole.
Yeah, come on up, Fred.
You want me to get over there?
Yeah.
That's usually the rules.
I was wondering why you were here. I'm like, is he part of this? Is he part of
Well,
that?
I thought he was
Right
going.
through 26 Marsh Avenue, I have serious concerns here. On September 20th, and maybe you know this, there's gonna be a major reenactment of Benedict Arnold's gathering of the troops to go to Canada as part of the all the activities of the.
Where is that,
Who's
Fred?
putting it
Pardon me?
on?
Where is it?
That's what it is.
Who's putting it
That's-
on?
Pardon me?
Who's doing it?
I don't know who's doing it, I heard this at church on Sunday, I don't know who's doing it. But they're gonna supposedly muster at the Upper Green, muster the troops at the Upper Green. Go to the first church, they're gonna have a church service at the first church. Then they're gonna go up into Newburyport to the, the Old South. And leave from there, ostensibly to go on the campaign. My problem is the situation at the Upper Green right now. We have a goose problem. And it's a health problem. I wouldn't even wanna think of what the E. coli is on the Upper Green right
Imagine
now.
sleeping on the Upper Green.
And well, I don't know if they're gonna sleep there, but if they're gonna muster there, there's gonna be a crowd of people there. We've got to do something to clean that up before this happens. Otherwise, they're probably gonna muster in the old town hall parking lot.
September 20th, you
No,
said.
have they come in to us for
No.
permission?
No, nobody ever asked us to.
I don't know anything about that. I'm just relaying this. Maybe they will, but
Who's they, Fred? Who's they? Do we know who they are?
no, I do not know. I heard it at church from the minister. I do not know.
According to the Google that I just looked at, it looks like it's on the Newburyport's Road to Revolution continues.
Yeah, right. That makes sense.
Want me to email you the link? Yes. I mean, again, this was just a quick Google search, so I could be wrong, but.
Yeah, we can reach out to them and they need your
Fred,
permission.
thank you for bringing this to
Custom-
our
Right,
attention.
Maybe the Custom House got something to
I
do with
don't
it,
know.
but.
Oh, no, I think it might be the Historical Society
Yeah.
of Old Newbury, but I don't know. But I bring this up because of the health concerns. I mean, I counted the other day 180 geese there. So there's roughly
Population is out of
200 geese
control.
there every day. I call them USA geese because of course they don't migrate, they're here 12 months of the year. And they're a serious problem, and I did observe the last 2 days that there is not one single goose at the Newburyport Mall, and why is that?
Why is
What have they
that?
done? They've done something. And I would
Can you reach
recommend
out to the city and ask why they don't?
yeah, I
want
would
to do-
recommend that you get James Surratt to talk, I assume with the Public Works
I'll ask Tracy to do
up
that.
there and see what they've done, because the golf courses get rid of them, you know, they don't have a
Well,
problem.
golf courses get rid of them in a pretty harsh fashion because of their rural setting, but I'd be Fred, thank you for doing it.
Yeah, thank you for coming here.
I used to sell more Canadian, they were my favorite bird for the Hank Walker decoy. No one likes them anymore. And that's because of the problem.
I mean, I get rid of them in my field by simply driving the car at them.
Yeah. Well, I helped.
I know you can't do that on the green,
we're bringing up
but
the
we've got to get rid of them, otherwise we've got a health concern here, we really do.
Well, if the Board of Health steps in, maybe we can do something.
You know what? Probably if you really disrupt those birds early, they're not coming
Right,
back every day.
they come in about 10 o'clock, if you get rid of them then.
I think if they come for permission, they can use the far end of there's a lot of room where the muster is and
Those
everything else.
birds are all over that thing, completely all over, all the way to the corner of Green and Hanover.
That's why the grass isn't growing.
Oh, yeah, it's not the drought. Yep, okay, that's all I wanted to bring up.
Fred, thank you for coming here and thank you for sitting here all night.
I can vouch for it.
Yeah, you know firsthand.
I do know
Fire.
firsthand.
I don't know how many times a day.
Get your
Thank
waiters
you,
and-
good night. Yeah, Bill, you were just there with the,
Yeah, at the Purple Hat ceremony on August 7th, it was very noticeable all over, even up where the statue is, where the comrades are, where that wreath is, that those geese droppings were every place. I mean, someone sent me a text message the day before suggesting that we wear boots to walk there, so. Fred's right, there's a lot of poop on the Upper Green.
And that's not that easy to get rid of.
no.
If the grass isn't growing, you can't cut it and disperse it, you can't blow it with
And the stench is
blower. I mean,
phenomenal.
it's not easy.
So, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second,
Roll call vote.
Jeff Walker, yes.
Leslie Matthews, yes.
Alicia Greco, yes?
Bill DeMille, yes.
Okay, Mr. DeMayo, thank you so much for
And enjoy the
disrupting
rest of
your
your
night's
vacation.
sleep. I know it's the middle of the night over there.
Thank you.
Arrivederci, ciao ciao.